If you can hear this, we're back. A problem from our podcast hosting service apparently affected us and a number of other podcasts yesterday. But if you hear this, it is, as Elvis once said, good to be back. Microsoft executives may lose bonuses if the company is hacked. Apple unveils its M4 chip in the iPad Pro. A new company leverages AI to reportedly find millions in savings on software as a service. And Elon Musk tells you how much AI is used at Starlink and SpaceX. Spoiler alert, none. All this and more on the Ups and Downs of AI edition of Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. In a move aimed to address criticism at numerous cybersecurity failures, Microsoft has announced what it calls its Secure Future Initiative. The tech giant stated that this initiative will place security at the forefront in all its operations and product development. In the company's blog post, they declared, and I quote, "Security above all else is the guiding principle that will drive every aspect of our work." Now, Microsoft has made announcements like this before, one big one in November of last year, but this time there are indications that they've really got the message. A blog post by Charlie Bell, Executive Vice President for Microsoft Security, has a long list of initiatives, all of which are credible and necessary, many of which one would have expected would already be in place. But there is an added note at how seriously Microsoft is taking this new plan. According to that same post, the company will be tying executive compensation directly to meeting stringent security goals. As stated in that same post, and I quote, "Executive compensation will be tied to better security across our entire technology stack and trusted cloud offerings." End quote. Yep, they're serious. Apple unveiled its new M4 chip today, and as has been rumored, the M4 will be launched in the iPad Pro line, not in the MacBook Air or other MacBooks. The company boasted that this marks the biggest day for iPad since its introduction. The M4 processor, built using an advanced 3-nanometer process, packs a punch with 10 cores, 4 performance cores and 6 high-efficiency cores. Apple claims that the M4 can deliver the same performance as the M2, just using half the power. But what really caught the tech world's attention is the M4's enhanced neural engine, capable of a staggering 38 trillion with a T, trillion operations per second. This supercharged AI processing power could open up new possibilities for the iPad Pro. Apple CEO Tim Cook stated, "This is the biggest day for iPad since its introduction." The new iPad Pro comes in an 11-inch and a 13-inch model, with larger versions touted as Apple's thinnest product ever. These are not bargain brand, with prices starting at $999 for the 11-inch model and $1299 for the 13-inch variant. That's US dollars. Apple also refreshed its iPad Air lineup, now offering a larger 13-inch option alongside the standard 11-inch model. These feature the M2 chip and double the base storage of their predecessors. The 11-inch iPad Air starts at $599, while the 13-inch model is priced at $799. The question now will be, what will the company do with its laptops, which traditionally would have been featured in the newest chip technology? But Apple missed a major update last year for the iPad lineup and appears to be trying to make up for it. We'll see. We've talked about rising software as a service costs, and apparently some enterprising entrepreneurs have heard that message as well. A startup called Cloud Eagle is promising to help enterprises significantly reduce their SaaS expenditures, in some cases by as much as 90%. According to Prasanna Naik, a co-founder of Cloud Eagle and a former Airbnb and Oracle executive, a customer who spends between $1 and $2 million on SaaS applications can see between a 30 to 90% saving using Cloud Eagle. Now, Cloud Eagle claims to be using generative AI and machine learning techniques with access to data from thousands of companies and a vast database of over 250,000 SaaS applications. Cloud Eagle has built a powerful recommendation engine. The engine suggests the most suitable applications based on factors such as the enterprise's use case, current tech stack, industry, employee base size, and growth projections. And the company's also using generative AI to enable users to check simple things like, do employees even need or even use a particular subscription software? It keeps track of expirations and other details directly through a Slack chatbot. Cloud Eagle is positioning itself as a comprehensive solution for enterprises seeking to optimize their SaaS expenditures and streamline their software management processes. And in a world where SaaS applications are becoming the only way for software to be delivered, Cloud Eagle could be hitting a real sweet spot in the drive to manage SaaS and cloud spending. The company has ambitious plans for growth, including developing their own large language model. And with their starter package priced at $2,000 per month USD, they are clearly serious about their ability to deliver cost savings. Love to hear from any listeners about this topic. And in answer to the question, is Microsoft trying to tank Windows 11? A new report has surfaced about a default feature in Windows 11 Pro that can significantly impact the performance of solid-state drives, or SSDs, as they're called. According to extensive testing by the folks at Tom's Hardware, the BitLocker software encryption activated by default in Windows 11 Pro is causing massive reductions in SSD speeds, up to a staggering 45% in some applications. The culprit behind this slowdown is the constant encryption and decryption of the data on the SSD during read and write processes, which burdens the processor and takes a toll on overall system performance. Interestingly, many modern SSDs support hardware-based encryption, offloading the encryption tasks to the drive itself. However, Windows 11 Pro opts for its own software-based BitLocker encryption, likely for greater control over potential vulnerabilities. But according to this article, in some cases, this encryption is set by default, so users may not even be aware it's slowing them down. If you're wondering, there's a link to the Tom's Hardware piece in the show notes. And a little bit of good news about Google. In a move aimed at tackling housing insecurity, Google is co-funding a $2.8 million guaranteed income pilot in California's Bay Area. The tech giant, through its philanthropic arm, Google.org, is partnering with the Abdul Latif Jameel Poverty Action Lab, a research center based at MIT, to provide 225 families with $1,000 per month for an entire year. This no-strings-attached cash assistance is targeted at families on the verge of homelessness who have recently participated in nonprofit housing programs and are nearing the end of their housing subsidies. Another 225 families will serve as a control group, receiving just $50 per month over the same 12-month period. The It All Adds Up program aims to test whether this guaranteed basic income can help secure long-term housing for the participating families. Notably, over 70% of the enrolled families are headed by single mothers of color with young children under 5. NYU's Housing Solutions Lab will analyze the pilot's results, assessing the impact not just on housing stability, but also on participants' overall health and financial outcomes. This initiative is part of Google's $1 billion commitment to addressing the housing crisis in the San Francisco Bay Area, where a stark divide exists between the immense wealth of tech giants and their well-paid employees, and many locals struggling to afford basic living expenses. Universal basic income programs have surged in popularity as an innovative tool for combating poverty, with data showing that participants overwhelmingly spend the funds on essentials like food, housing, and transportation. Support or disdain for these programs tends to be driven by ideology versus data, predictably with those on the so-called left supporting them and those on the so-called right opposing them. And it's unlikely to change minds that are already made up. But for the rest of us, this pilot could provide valuable insights and real data into this huge and growing problem of housing insecurity. And in a somewhat surprising revelation, Elon Musk stated that his space company, SpaceX, uses basically no AI. He mentioned this during a recent interview at the Milken Global Conference in Los Angeles. Despite the current AI frenzy gripping the tech industry, Musk claims that the current AI systems haven't proven useful for SpaceX's needs. Here's what he had to say, and I quote, "I'll ask it questions about the Fermi paradox, about rocket engine design, about electrochemistry, and so far, the AI has been terrible at all those questions, so there's still a long way to go." Musk also clarified that even Starlink, SpaceX internet satellite business and a major driver of the company's valuation, does not utilize AI technologies. His exact words were, "Starlink does not use AI." However, Musk did acknowledge that he's not opposed to using AI if suitable applications arise, stating, "I'm not against using it. We just haven't seen a use for it." While SpaceX and Starlink may not be leveraging AI yet, Musk's electric vehicle company Tesla extensively uses more conventional AI in its driver assistance features, although he did not mention Tesla during the interview. Despite his reservations about current AI capabilities, Musk believes that more than 99% of intelligence will eventually become digital rather than biological. However, he emphasized the importance of developing AI systems that are beneficial to humanity and do not spread misinformation. Although he did downplay the doomsday version of AI, stating he listened to podcasts about the fall of civilization to help him fall asleep. And that's our show. Hopefully we've kept you awake. Hashtag Trending goes to air 5 days a week with a weekend interview show. We're also on YouTube with both a video and an audio version because Google is moving all audio podcasts to YouTube, so we may turn up twice as we do our video experiments. Find us at our new home at technewsday.ca or .com, take your pick, and you can reach me with comments, suggestions, or even criticism at editorial@technewsday.ca. You can now find our show notes at our new home on the podcast page of technewsday.ca, and you can play the latest shows there or on the homepage. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.